Hey guys, it's your girl Lady Geek XX Chic, and I'm back with another reaction to Runaways. We are now on episode 2-8, which is called Past Life. So, last episode we had quite a bit go down in the sense of the whole Jonah storyline, in that it kind of ended, in a way. Jonah is no more, at least in the body that we know him in. He was taken out by Miko. She took all the rage of her 1,000 dead ancestors and she just stabbed him straight through the chest. And he deserved it. Let's be real. He deserved it. But yeah, it was a bit anticlimactic considering how big and strong they kind of built Jonah up to be in the previous season. But we know that he's been weak for a while and he hadn't had his sacrifice in a while. So I guess, you know, he was just not able to recover. But also we had the kids dealing with quite a bit. They basically, of course, wanted to stop Jonah, which they did. But now we see that there's some trouble in Paradise with some of the relationships. In particular, now obviously Carolina's feeling some type of way about Miko killing her father because she realizes it wasn't a necessary thing for her to do, but in a way it kind of was. So it'll be interesting to see how they navigate these waters because, yeah, Carolina's, she's completely entitled to being upset about that. Miko also has to deal with the repercussions of taking a life, and that's definitely going to be quite heavy for her to deal with. And as I'm very interested to also see how things are going to go now with the parents, now that Jonah is no longer the obstacle that they have to get around. They still have the very broken relationships of their children to try to navigate. And as we saw in the last episode, the kids aren't quite there yet. So without further ado, let's get into this episode and see what else we have to see. And we will chat about it later. Okay? Boop.
Before this body, there is another.
1932. Jeez.
Children, have faith. The light shall bring you new life.
How come the light hasn't brought you more hair? See, this is why there's no black people in this tent. They would have been like, not today, Satan, and they would have been gone. This seems very advanced for 1957, but all right.
Hello, sir. My name is Dr. Jonah. I'm the specialist they brought in from Melbourne.
Oh my gosh, look at Julian using his real accent. It's so cute. So I was right. Jonah moved to another body. He body jumps.
Breakthroughs will not happen.
Until at last, it's all mine. And you will be gone.
Wow. Well, whatever Jonah is a being. He's a dick. This organ music. Is Austin Powers about to pop out of somewhere? Hello, baby. Did you miss me?
We're gonna build a beautiful future together, David.
Dude. The girl on the left is totally sober. She's like, no. Oh my gosh, are those the two bots?
Can you believe it?
Those are the two creepy women.
What's your name?
Leslie.
Leslie. It's a pleasure.
So creepy. No, I'm uncomfortable.
And, you know, with Jonah gone, maybe things are just gonna calm down.
I mean,
Jonah
it's true.
being dead, or you having made him dead by killing him, is calm exactly?
Party's the same day Destiny Gonzalez was killed.
Yeah, Miss Quick Trigger.
Didn't leave the house all night.
We could all use a break, a day off. You know, and then tomorrow we can decide what's next.
It's a good idea. I think you're all sick of each other.
Do the day off. I'm gonna find out if I still have a girlfriend.
He's like, my relationship's not messed up. Later, losers. Oh, that baby's face is a mood.
My dad killed him, and he made him take the fall for everything again. Now I want to help you take him down.
At a maternity ward? Whoa! Wow. You are the scum of the earth, sir. Oh, I hope you die horribly, but get ball cancer first. There's babies! Pregnant! Oh, you sick son of a bitch. Triggered.
Without beginning or end, one with the universe. Ever.
Please, just get up.
Right? What? The thing you're praying to is dead, sir.
That guy AWOL you're going on about, he's a cop now. He left one gang for another, runs with a whole crew of dirty cops.
Damn, left one gang for another. Woo! The shade.
You would send your own dad to jail?
Hell
That's
yes.
murder. It went sideways, Cat. Did you know our son was there?
Exactly.
What?
You careless.
Why?
Why?
See, I can barely look at you
Exactly.
after what you did to Darius.
Mm-hmm.
You think our son will?
Exactly. Woo! He still gotta go, but he took a little step up for that. You're too much, girl. You're too much. Keep digging that grave. Getting right up there with Nico's mom. Okay, guys, you know you can attract attention because people do come up to the floor.
No, I have stuff in there.
I mean, y'all are on a break right now. Ooh, chocolate fountain! Where's this hotel? Why am I not there right now?
Never actually ask me what I want or if I can handle something. You
Why
just-
are we
you
getting
make the
marital
decision, you lie,
counseling
and
from
then you
this
keep
poor
shit from it.
concierge?
It's like,
Yum! Chase, that was childish.
juvenile.
Talk that you lost the light. And there was that whole thing about murder and kidnapping.
I like that. Let's put it in rank of order what's super serious. Murder and all that. But you lost the light, girl. That was juicy. That is the biggest iced coffee I've ever seen in my life. Holy crap.
That guy, Jonah?
Oh, look, it's a thing.
And I so badly wanted to know you.
You know, you can take this and leave, Carolina, but no, you should stay in the office. That's a great idea. Maybe Alex should have gone alone for this. I really think he should have gone alone for this.
So they probably...
They have their own cameras, yes.
Wow, way to steal the credit right out of the girl's mouth. The man corruption phenomenon in action.
Or he was just being cute and finishing
Don't
his...
start with me.
Right?
Holy shit, Alex.
It's your mama.
Your dad.
They both rotten. Sorry, sir. Although your daddy would not have done that to Darius. He's still dirty, but he would have done this. Like that, he would have done it. Oh, no. No, Jeff, this is a bad idea. Cut. No, cancel.
I told him he could come here.
Why?
I'll be with the baby.
Sounds calculating.
But I'm just getting started.
That's right. That's right.
I'm gonna build my own goddamn kingdom now.
Yes, girl.
So you better watch your back.
Mm-hmm. You go, girl. That's right. You think one little lump sum gonna take care of a man's entire life and destiny? Boy. I mean, I know it's not your fault, Jeff, but not today, sir.
Carry this with you as you prepare for what's next.
You're going to take over the world and drain the souls of every last living human. I highly advise you take the stairs.
Go, I'll meet you at the Rose. Rose!
Why? So why down there? Who put her there? Who's looking for her? The cops?
So nice to finally meet you.
You should have been worried about them putting you in a locker, girl. Oh, Molly. I mean, I understand the kids were in a hurry, but you should never listen to a 14-year-old when she says, no, you guys go ahead. Bless her, but she's not quite old enough to have the wherewithal to think that far ahead, y'all. All right, guys, that was episode 8, which was called Past Life. And it directly related into what I talked about at the beginning of this video about how I said I saw Jonah's zhuzh go into the universe, and he's just looking for another host, it looks like. It's probably just going to dance around till it finds a host body that it likes. But from the sounds of things, he may potentially forget, or maybe the connection that he has with Carolina is going to be lessened because he's not going to be in the biological body that was her father. So very interesting. Yeah, this was an interesting episode. It was good in that I'm glad some certain things finally came to light. I'm glad that Alex knows the truth about what happened to Darius in the sense of it wasn't his dad. I mean, it doesn't really change the fact that he and his dad will probably never be besties, but I think Alex, well, I mean, it is with both boys, right? They kind of have a soft spot for their moms, and I don't think he wanted to believe that his mother was capable of doing something like this. And it's a sad wake-up call because I think Alex was really hoping that at least one of his parents could be a little less culpable. Unfortunately, all these parents are guilty, and now Alex is starting to see his mother's... I think he always knew his mom was stern, but I don't think he ever thought his mom was capable of something like this. So yeah, this was crazy. This whole episode was crazy. Honestly, the the shooting at the hospital, like the maternity ward, y'all, like that was an automatic weapon. That was an automatic weapon shot in a place full of newborn babies and pregnant women. Like, you have to be some kind of animal to ever think that that's even remotely okay to send a message. Like, they could have done that. Like, they're cops, you know, they could have followed her to work. They could have found a time when she would have been alone. But to do that with a baby, knowing that bullets ricochet, anyway, I'm sorry. That triggered me so hard because there's nothing good about a drive-by regardless, no matter who your target is. But that's just, to me, like a new kind of low to go after, like, just a bunch of innocent newborn babies. Like, there's nothing a newborn baby could have ever done to anybody. You feel me? But anyway, yeah, this was a lot of information in this episode. I think we saw that the couples are still kind of having some issues. I guess it was kind of nice to see Alex and, gosh, I already forgot her name. But I'm glad at least that she knows that Alex had nothing to do with what happened to Darius. I'm glad that she believed him. And I'm glad that at least I think Alex needs somebody outside of the group that he can kind of rely on and feel close to, because as I mentioned a lot in the earlier episodes, I think he's been kind of skirting on a kind of an orbit around the rest of the group. And I think he put it great in the last episode where he called himself, or not the next one, the one where everybody was starting to have relationship problems, and he was saying that I'm just the NPC in this MMORPG. Like, that's so the way that Alex has been in this group, unfortunately. He has very much been kind of sitting in this weird outside place. And so if he's got to be out there, I prefer him to have somebody that he can be a little soft with and have a connection with. He doesn't really, you know what I mean? There's no one who's really kind of there for Alex, I guess. Everyone's kind of got someone there except for Alex. And some might argue the same for Molly, but Molly's 14. Like, I don't really count her in the same way with the other kids because she is so young, and her and Gert are super close as well. So it was it's just nice that Alex has this person now that he's got with him. I don't know if she's gonna make it through the season. I hope she doesn't end up dying. That would be super sad, but it might be something, though. Again, I mentioned a couple episodes ago that in the comics we know, again, spoiler, but in the comics we know that Alex does make a deal with his parents to save himself and, well, Nico in the comics, and basically let the rest of the guys go. Here, since it's not going to be Nico, maybe he'd be willing to make that deal for this new girl, you know, like if he knows something's going to go down eventually, maybe not necessarily with Jonah at this point, but in some way, shape, or form with Pride, maybe he'd be willing to sacrifice the group for her. Like, I just feel like the show keeps making sure there seems to be kind of a wall between Alex and the rest of the kids, and I'm wondering if that's deliberate so that they can have Alex pull off and do something that doesn't feel out of character later on. Anyway, either way, I'm happy that those two are kind of back on the level. I think they're super cute, and it's nice that she I like that she stands up to Alex, and that she's not just kind of fangirling over this rich kid who happens to be smart. Like, she very much is standing her ground and very firm in what she wants. That kind of dovetails a little bit. I'm just going to talk only a little bit about Darius's woman, Tamar. I think her name was Tamar or Tamar. I loved how first of all, I love that she figured out very quickly and explained to her little sister there that, you know, the cops are clearly in on this. They're not going to turn against one of their own. So you trying to bang this door down is unfortunately not going to end well for you. But also, when Gregory came later, or Jeffrey, God, why do I keep calling him Jeffrey? When Jeffrey came later and tried to appease her with the money and the deed, and I know that Gregor feels so bad about what happened. Like, I could tell it's tearing him up inside. But I'm glad that she said to him, like, if you think that just giving me some money and some paperwork is going to erase the fact that you robbed me of my future with my man, my child's father, my child is never going to know their dad. If you think this little sum of money is going to even come close to paying for that, you're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. And that's exactly, like, to me, I feel like, first of all, I'm not even sure that Jeffrey should have showed up. I personally feel like it was too soon, still too hot, but I understand why he felt he needed to do it. I like seeing that Tamar's a boss, and I love the way she said it, like, I'm going to build my kingdom, don't you worry. I'm a queen, I'm going to build my kingdom, and that day comes, I am coming for you, so don't sit too pretty. But yeah, it's nice to see that he's just never been okay with what happened to Darius. And that speech that he gave Catherine, oh my God, I love that he just let her have it. Like, listen, woman, your little escapade, your little hit that you put out almost killed our son, first and foremost, and secondly, there was a newborn baby. What is wrong with you? But as it stands right now, Jeff can't look at you, and when inevitably Tamar comes after you, because I really do hope Alex tells Tamar that it was his mama who did it. I want her to step up to that girl, roll up on her, and just give it to her one day. Because we all know, for as tough as Catherine may be when she's got her little money here and her little lawyer things here, we know that if it was her and Tamar out in them streets, we all know how that was gonna go down. I'm just saying Tamar deserves at least 5 minutes alone in an alley. That's all I'm saying. All right, on to the Gert and Chase drama. Not a whole lot to talk about this particular episode, except for the fact that at least they're talking again. Even if they're bickering, at least bickering is better than not talking. Chase still referred to Gert as his girlfriend and vice versa. Clearly they're not over. Like I said, I think they just needed a little bit of space, which was not a bad idea. I can see why Gert is just, again, I think this is still related to her going through the anxiety she has been, the meds taking their time, kicking in. I think, for her, she's just so desperate to get back to some semblance of normalcy in her life that college seems like the next logical step, even though I don't know how she thinks that's going to happen. I don't think Gert's really thinking about how much everything that's happened with her has affected her life and the kind of fallout that it might have down the line. So I get why everyone was kind of like, oh, but also it was kind of a wake-up call, I think, for the entire group to start thinking about the fact that this thing that put them all together in this place, which was the threat of Pride and the threat of Jonah, for the moment is gone. So for them, they don't really have the same constraints on staying in their underground palace anymore because the cops aren't looking for them and Jonah's no longer a threat to kill them. So really it's just a matter of avoiding their parents. Sorry. And of course, Chase did not take that news well because he felt like Gert was trying to hide it from him. And it was an inevitability at some point that both of them would be looking at potentially going to school and maybe not being together with each other all the time. But I understand how it was jarring for Chase because this whole situation has clearly made this group a lot closer to each other than the average group of teenagers. So anyways, there's not much else to say about that. I really don't see that happening as far as Gert going off to uni. We all know, like, we still have, 5 episodes left. Something's still gonna go down. We also know, which brings me to the next point, the fact that Jonah is not actually dead, or at least the spirit, whatever it is, it's no longer Jonah. Jonah was the doctor was the body of the doctor that was taken over back in 1950 something or the other. That body is now gone, finally, but the energy that was sourcing him is still out there. It left and is, like I said, potentially finding another host. It does make me wonder, however, how Jonah selects, or I have to call him Jonah because we don't know what, if he has another name, he's never given it to us. It makes me wonder how he selected these hosts and if they always need a host for him, because if he's eternal, as he says, right, which is true, energy's never created or destroyed, then does he need a host body? Will he need another host body? Does it make any sense for him to have a host body at this point, especially since his ship is gone? So a lot of questions about what's going on with Floaty Jonah. Where is he going to land next? Who's he going to overtake? Can he overtake now that he's just out there? Because remember, he was weakened quite a bit before that happened. So I'm very curious about what's happening. Carolyn is in a very interesting space in that I think she appreciates that what Jonah did was atrocious and wrong, but she also knows that that's part of her and she's not ready to look at that part of herself in a negative way at this point. And maybe she shouldn't have to. I mean, the sad part is she hasn't learned enough about what she is, I think, at this point to really decide whether Jonah's path was wrong or not overall, and for her to know that she doesn't necessarily have to take Jonah's path. We know so little. We still know so little about what Jonah is, what their planet is. Have they always been like this? Is Jonah like a renegade that left and just came to Earth because he wanted to do his own thing, or do they all go to different planets and do this? There's so many questions, and Carolina sadly has no one to give her the answers yet. So this is why I'm kind of glad that the entity is not gone, but considering how he was taken out, if he does take on another body, I feel like what he's going to be hell-bent on more than anything is revenge. And I guess the other thing that was touched on very lightly was Nico's guilt. She is still struggling really hard. I thought it was really sweet that her father in that I don't know, farewell brunch that Pride had. I love that he brought out the fact that he felt terrible that Nico was carrying the burden of taking a life. I mentioned that in the last episode, that it's a big deal. I'm glad that he recognized that, even though, of course, Tina was like, oh, it's fine, she did what she had to do. It's like, no, Tina, not everyone's a robot, okay? Some people actually have consciences that still work. She feels awful. Like, I don't think that Nico regrets that she killed Jonah, but I think she is very... I think, like I said, the effects of it are still very heavy, and it, of course, the side effect of it hurting Carolina so deeply was obviously not something that she bartered for. So it's going to be a rough road for Nico, but maybe with a little continued support from her friends, Nico will figure out the best way for her to deal with this. And I guess the final thing that we've got that happened is the end there is Frank, crazy Frank. I kind of just want him to go away. Honestly, out of all of Pride, I feel like he's the least useful character. That just... I don't know, I'm sorry, like, no offense to you, Kit Pardue, but I just don't have any, like, I just don't see any use for Frank. We've got a couple of things going on with Pride being dissolved as it stands, and no one really wants to keep each other's back anymore, not having a reason to. Leslie really doesn't have anybody. Like, Leslie's support system was based on Jonah and his threats and the protection that he offered, but now that that's no longer there, I don't know that anyone in Pride, I mean, the Manuros are certainly not going to help her. Same thing with Alex's parents, you know, but the whole point is no one really liked Leslie. Let's be real. None of them really ever liked her even before all this. So if Frank does manage to somehow get the crazy crones of Pride to, or not the Pride, of the church to somehow get behind trying to frame her, which I'm wondering if Frank, I mean, I guess he has already taken one life, so would he go as far as trying to take Leslie out just to keep the church? Very interesting that he's so hell-bent on keeping this going after everything that's happened, especially with Jonah. So I'm almost wondering if maybe as a twist at the end of this, if maybe that's the body that Jonah will come back and take as Frank. I could see it. It would be kind of the ultimate screw you to Leslie, but also it would kind of put him in a position where he gets to be Carolina's father, maintain that connection, but it also just puts him in a prime position to continue doing what he was doing with the church. So, but that was pretty much the episode, you guys. As I said, it was not bad at all. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching this episode along with me. I will get to the next one as soon as I possibly can. There's so much going on, right now in my life, so I know a lot of these are coming out fairly slowly, but I have not forgotten about them, and I'm super, super pumped to get through the rest of the series. So thanks so much for watching, and if you like this video, please click like, and if you want to see more from this geeky face, please click subscribe. Until next time, see ya!